Hello everyone, my name is Omar and welcome to my page. This video series is called Marathon Mastery with ChatGPT. I gotta give you a little bit of background first so that you understand where all this originated from. In 2023, I ran my first Ironman. I spent all year preparing for that Ironman, and I completed my Ironman in Sacramento in 13 hours and 45 minutes. I was so pumped and so excited that I decided for 2024, I was going to run 2 half Ironmans and hopefully in 2026 run another full Ironman. Well, in July, I ran my second Ironman, this time a half Ironman in Boulder, Colorado. Now, the other video series of those 2 Ironman are in the previous playlist, but after the July half Ironman in Boulder, I realized that I needed more practice and more time in open water swimming. So I changed my second half of my 2024 goal, which is to run another half Ironman. And at that point in July, after completing my first one in Boulder, that I was in a slight limbo. I knew that if I prepared for the next Ironman, it wouldn't give me enough time that I feel like I needed to practice what I feel was my biggest failure in the last race, was the swimming. I need more time swimming open water. So I didn't know what to do. So for a couple months, I had just kind of was transitioning back to my full-time jiu-jitsu practice that I do 5 days a week. So in that limbo, readjusting to post-Ironman training, that was another eye-opening experience. And the reason being is during Ironman, I was doing so much activities with the 3 disciplines of cycling, running, and swimming that portion sizes was not an issue. I can eat as much as I can because I was burning so much. Once I stopped in July and transitioned back to my jiu-jitsu, I realized that I was slowly gaining weight. And the total weight that I had gained since July was a fluctuation of 8 to 10 pounds. So what it tells me was that my jiu-jitsu was not expending as much energy as my Ironman training. I was still eating like an Ironman, but I wasn't doing Ironman. So that amount of activity that I wasn't doing was an equivalent to 8 to 10 pounds. So I was struggling with it, not struggling, I was just accepting and just learning and observing my transition. So in that limbo, not knowing what I was gonna do, I was just kind of waiting. Didn't know what kind of video series I was gonna do next. And Rosa, if you have followed my previous series, Rosa and I have ran a total of 4 marathons in the last 2 years. And kind of a quick story behind that, when we first started to train, when Rosa decided that she wanted to run a marathon, we trained all year for the 2022 CIM marathon, which is a Folsom to Sacramento run. Again, Rosa had no experience whatsoever when it comes to running. So we spent all year training her how to run, preparing to run, all that good stuff. And on the Wednesday, right before our first marathon, she went to the hospital for an emergency. And that emergency prevented us from running our first marathon. So that CIM was always in the back of our mind. In 2023, we ran 2 marathons. We ended up doing the Napa Marathon, which we didn't finish, and then we did the Eugene, Oregon, which we finished. That was the first full, complete marathon between the 2 of us. And since then, in 2024, we did Napa again to finish unfinished business. And a week later, we had 1 week rest after the Napa Marathon, we ended up doing the LA Marathon. And the LA Marathon was a great, great time. So that was in March, I believe. But throughout the 2 years, I've been in Rosa's ear. I'm like, CIM. And I did the same thing with Napa. After Eugene, she wanted to be done. But I kept on just whispering, Napa, we gotta finish business, because we didn't finish it. There was a big issue with taking the wrong bus, taking it to the half marathon point versus the marathon point. So we finished the Napa Marathon in 2023, or 2024. That was like unfinished business. We took care of it. Rosa had said no more marathons. She was done, right? But in the back of our minds, we knew that CAM was still a marathon that we intended to do, which we didn't finish. We didn't even start due to the emergency. So, Rosa decides CIM 2024, it is. So this will be our third marathon for the year. Supposedly this should be the last marathon that Rosa wants to do, but we'll see. It goes from marathon to marathon. But the point is, we're doing CIM to complete our original goal of our original marathon. So with that being said, kind of a quick background. When I prepared for my Ironman and my half Ironman, I didn't have any experience with long distance training. So I had to go online, look at programs that fits my schedule, my needs, everything. And I bought 2 programs, one for the full, one for the half Ironman. And then I had this idea for this marathon. I'm like, well, first was the question, what am I gonna do training-wise? I wanted to do something different. I wanted to experiment. I wanted to make something fun so that we can make a new video series. So it hits me, why not ChatGPT? So I decided to get ChatGPT 4, and I opened up a thread and I started asking it questions. And when I explained to ChatGPT what my goals were, we started to build a program. And when I say build a program, I'm talking about from ground up. I gave ChatGPT all my data, all my info when it comes to, I do body spec, which is a screening, a scan, and it has all my info, my body fat percentage, my fat, my weight, my measurements, all that stuff. And when I did my full Ironman, I had taken a measurement every month. So needless to say, I have tons of data of me and my body. But anyways, I wanted to start fresh. So I got a new scan, entered in all my data, all the data that I thought was gonna be important, from my measurements, to my sleep, to my HRV, to my sub VO2 max. And once I gave all this information, I asked ChatGPT, what do you see of me from all this info? And it spat out all this information. I was like, good, I need you to have an understanding of me. Once it had all my information, I wanted to build a program around the things that I was doing and not make it, I don't want to say inconvenience, but what I didn't want to do is I did not want to take jiu-jitsu out of my life. When I did Ironman, I spent so much time with Ironman that I had to stop the jiu-jitsu activity. It was just too much for my body, or more my mind. So this time I didn't want to get rid of it. So I wanted to implement, or integrate, I should say, my jiu-jitsu or my marathon with my jiu-jitsu life. So we spat out a kind of a consistent program of how we're gonna attack it. Boom. I also said I needed to lose the 8 to 10 pounds that I had gained from my transition period, and I needed to relearn the correct portion sizes. My perspective and portion size of Ironman portion sizes were unlimited. So obviously, unlimited is not the the way to go when you're not doing Ironman. So we came up with a nutrition program. So for the 2 weeks before the 12-week program of me preparing for my race, the 2 weeks prior, it was a lot of experimental. A lot of experimental with the nutrition, a lot of experimental with everything. And within the 2 weeks that I had started with ChatGPT, I had lost the 10 pounds. So currently I'm at my weight that I enjoy, 220. And the original goal was I needed to get down from 220 to 215. I'd like to fluctuate from 215 to 220 versus fluctuating from 220 to 225. It's a big difference. So now that I'm here, the discipline of 100% of the nutrition doesn't have to be there. I can drop it down to 90% because I'm here. But anyway, I'm every single morning, every single lunchtime, every single time at dinner, I'm taking pictures of my nutrition, and it's spitting out whether it was a good choice, bad choice, and if it was a bad choice, what would the corrections be for a good choice? Learning about all the different things from all the things I'm consuming. So based on the feedback, I can now adjust it, right? I can say, oh, let's get rid of this and substitute with this. So it makes it much, much easier. It gives me an estimation of my macronutrients and my calories. So having to figure all that out is much easier with ChatGPT. So that has made my nutrition a lot easier. So that's part of the experiment that I'm doing, which has been a success so far. So this week is, I know I'm just rambling on, but I'm so excited. This week marks the second week of training. Last week we started running, I started running, it was the first time running since July. This week we're right back on the program. And this video series is going to be the following of not just Rosa's training, not just my training, but the training and the recommendations given to me by ChatGPT. So I really wanted to showcase not just Rosa and her marathon journey, or our marathon journey, but I also wanted to show you the amount of assistance that ChatGPT, how it can be implemented into your life and how it can help you manage whatever you need to manage. In this case, manage my jiu-jitsu with marathon training, my marathon eating, nutrition eating, so I don't gain too much weight or not lose too much weight. So this ChatGPT is going to be the star of this video series and my experiences with ChatGPT. So that was a lot said. That was a big introduction. Last video series of all my Ironman training were weekly videos. I don't think I'm going to do weekly videos this time. I'm definitely going to be doing bi-weekly. And bi-weekly I'll be able to have just different ideas of different videos, different vlogs, just different video experiences. So hopefully you will join us in our journey with ChatGPT and with Rosa's goal of running our final marathon. So hope you guys enjoy it, and we will see you in a couple weeks.